Let's say you are waiting for a visa to be approved, but the visa is in the F4 category. What do you do? What do you do? What do you do in the wake of President Trump's proclamation? Can you file a mandamus lawsuit? What are your options if you're stuck waiting for this visa, or maybe you filed such a petition? Today, this is the question I'm going to explore. If you don't know me, my name is Josh Goldstein. I'm an immigration lawyer in Los Angeles, and I help people with all sorts of immigration issues. I help people get work permits, green cards, citizenship, and I have particular interest in helping people with delayed immigration cases. And in 2020, most of the delayed immigration cases take place at the consulate. These are people who deserve to be approved for a visa, but they're given the lame excuse of administrative processing. I help people get their visas out of administrative processing by filing mandamus lawsuits. So let's go to this question. Here it is. I printed out the email from the person. It says, "Hi, Josh. I've been stuck in administrative processing since 2018 for absolutely 2 years. My visa is class F4, is a class F4 case that has been refused under administrative processing since January 21st, 2018. I need your help. What can you do now to move forward at this time?" Okay, there's a lot to unpack here, but I'm getting this question from a lot of people, so let's dig in. First of all, if your case has been in administrative processing for 2 years, or absolutely 2 years, then that is an unreasonable delay, and you can challenge, in general, you should be able to challenge that with a mandamus lawsuit. But in this case, it says here the visa is F4 class. So first of all, let's define what it means to be in the F4 class. This is from the most recent bulletin. It has a nice definition of the family-sponsored preference cases. So F4, we have here our brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. So that means that the petitioner is a U.S. citizen and he or she filed a petition based on a sibling relationship. So it takes a very, very long time to get such cases approved, but nevertheless, that's what you have to do for F4. We have here F3, married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. F2B, unmarried sons and daughters 21 years or older of permanent residence. F2A, spouses and children of permanent residents. Second preference are spouses and children and unmarried sons and daughters of permanent residents. And F1, unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. I think this means unmarried sons and daughters who are over the age of 21. That's the definition of the family-sponsored preference petitions. This person who asked me the question is in the F4 category. What can we do to take place? So let's go back to presidential proclamation from, this is the one that was issued in April 22nd, okay? Who is blocked by this proclamation? First of all, Section 2.1 says anyone outside the United States on the effective date of this proclamation. So you had to be outside the United States on April 22nd, 2020. Second, you do not have a valid immigrant visa, an immigrant visa that's valid on the effective date. So that would be people in administrative processing who are outside the United States. Now, there is a section here that designates, it says the suspension and limitation shall not apply to. So here are the people who it doesn't apply to. It doesn't apply to any alien who is the spouse of a U.S. citizen and any alien who is under 21 years old and is the child of a U.S. citizen. And there's some other carve-out exceptions too, it goes on to say. But the only categories that are available are the spouse of a U.S. citizen or the child of a U.S. citizen. Those are the two carve-outs in general. So under this proclamation, sibling petitions, F4 category, are blocked. Now, this proclamation was issued on April 22nd, and it lasted for 60 days. Then we go to the other proclamation on June 22nd. This proclamation extended the prior proclamation until the end of the year, until December 31st of 2020. So to go back to the question, it says, I've been stuck in administrative processing for 2 years. My visa class is F4 and it's been refused under administrative processing. Refused, by the way, does not mean denied. Refused just means temporarily on hold. Okay, that's the term. That's the terminology that's used for these sorts of cases. But it says, what can you do to move forward at this time? Well, first of all, we now know that the F4 category is for siblings of U.S. citizens. We now know that on April 22nd, President Trump issued a proclamation that would have blocked the issuance of visas in the F4 category for 60 days. And we know that on June 22nd, June 22nd, 2020, Trump released another proclamation that extended that ban till the end of December 31st, 2020, so the end of the year. So what can you do now? Well, the presidential proclamation blocks the issuance of this visa. So I guess one question is, could you file a mandamus lawsuit to challenge the executive order? You could say, look, this is not fair. Congress set up the immigration laws to allow the petitioning allow U.S. citizens to petition for their family members, certain family members, and the president's order can't just block that. Well, you could do that, but there's already a class action lawsuit that's been filed. It was filed in May, and they're seeking a preliminary injunction. So it's a class action lawsuit, which means that the beneficiaries of this lawsuit would not just be the plaintiffs in that case, but would be anyone. So the entire proclamation could be modified or struck down by a court. The second thing to know is that on December 31st, the proclamation ends, and Trump might choose not to extend it. Obviously, he never misses an opportunity to treat immigrants poorly, so it wouldn't be a good prediction to think that he's going to help immigrants. But nevertheless, that's a possibility. Another change could happen through the presidential election. Trump is up for re-election in November. He could lose the election. We could have President Biden inaugurated in January of 2021, and President Biden could undo these proclamations with the stroke of a pen. So that's another solution. One more solution that I want to mention. This does not apply in the F4 category, but for anyone who's the spouse or child, if you're the spouse, if you petition for your wife, your husband, your wife, or your children, and you're a permanent resident, then you could fix that if you were the petitioner by naturalizing. So you could then possibly move out of this entire system by becoming a U.S. citizen. That's just one suggestion. But right now, I think you're stuck with the ban. The only way to get this resolved is through a victory in court, a victory at the ballot box in November, and a change in the administration in January. Or if you're a spouse or child of a U.S. citizen, if that's the nature of the petition, through naturalization. That's my advice. That's my advice for this category, for these people. And my heart goes out to you because I think it's incredibly unfair. Trump constantly downplays the seriousness of the virus in the United States. He doesn't wear a mask. He doesn't practice social distancing. He has a big rally. He does all these things. But on the same token, he uses the coronavirus as an excuse to stop issuing visas. So I think it's deplorable. I think it's horrible. And my heart goes out to you if you're in this situation. If you have questions or need help, let me know. Keep fighting for your immigration dreams. we can get these cases approved one way or the other, and I will see you in the next video.